And to make it even better, we've got the pole sitter for today's race, Carl Edwards in the 99. So that's a pretty cool lineup. The man who won the first race here, the man who's won 3 Sprint Cup races here, the pole sitter, and the most popular driver in the sport. So thanks to WinStar World Casino for hosting the garage party for you, our outstanding season ticket holders. Now today, having a little fun with me and bringing me some help is Holly Huggins.
Hey race fans, how are we? Yeah. Are we ready for the AAA Texas 500 this afternoon? All right, listen, I need the energy. I need it to stay up. If I see you sticking out with some great energy, we've got some prizes back here. We're going to play some trivia games, so keep it up. We've got driver appearances. We've got, most of all, the most important man over here, Newey Scruggs. I've got some feedback.
That's me, so I'm sorry.
We are watching you just as much as you're watching us. Keep it up. We are excited you're here, and stay with us and stay energized.
Now, Holly has been single for a long time, but she recently met Joel and she got married. I want you to show all the ladies out there the ring that man got you. It's pretty big. Show it. That's great. Now, since he's marrying you, he had to be a racing fan. So who's his driver?
He's a Tony Stewart fan. He's a Hoosier. I married an Indiana boy. He's a Hoosier. So any other Indiana Hoosier and Tony Stewart fan combos out there, we'll take it for sure. So he's a keeper, but he follows Tony Stewart, and that's a little tough to do right now with Tony's injury. So he's kind of having to find a fill-in driver for the rest of the season, Newey.
Well, one thing we know about Tony will be back next year, and he will be ready to go. I got no doubt in my mind. He's definitely one of the best racers out there. I'm in a NASCAR pool over at Texas Motorspeedway with a bunch of the guys, and so every race we pick two guys, and it's 6 of us. And the 2 guys I have today, Edwards. Well, first off, Gordon and Earnhardt were already gone. So they were already gone, so I couldn't pick them. So my 2 drivers today are Carl Edwards, which he's on the pole, so you can never go wrong with a pole, and a guy who's won here 3 times is Kevin Harvick. So those are the 2 drivers I was left. That was the best of what was left. So those are the guys there, and I'm looking forward to having at least one of those 2 guys go to victory lane.
Where are you faring in this pool right now?
Until 2 weeks ago, I was winning. I was up like maybe $160. So this is the kind of money you win, and you don't tell your wife you won, and you go spend it on other things there. So that's what we do there. That's what we do. So we'll have. Oh, who's that bee there? Watch out for that. Watch out for that thing. Holly, we've got 2 guys tied for the Sprint Cup lead, and this makes today's race oh so important. Oh, so big, because I really do believe whoever leaves this track today is going to end up winning it all. So we've got Matt Kenseth in the 20, and we've got Jimmie Johnson in the 48.
Yeah, we are in the midst of NASCAR history being made, because nobody has ever come into this race with a deadlock. And so we're going to see a lot of activity out there. If the 2 races that we've already seen this weekend are any indication of the racing that we're going to see today, you guys are in for one hell of a treat this afternoon.
The pressure on these 2 teams here in order to get a victory, and maybe even just a top 5 out of this thing is going to be huge. Jimmy's won here before. Matt's won here before. Now, one thing I asked Eddie Gossage, the president and general manager of Texas Motorspeedway, who we all know, greatest promoter in all of sports, I said, would it be good for the sport if Jimmie won the championship again? To do it 6 times out of 7 years. Would the fans...
Tough crowd.
Would the fans be happy to see Jimmie do it again?
Are we limited to just those 2 guys wrapping it up? There's still help here, huh?
Really? You don't want to see Jimmie? I mean, that would put Jimmie 6 titles? That's impressive. Okay, so, all right, so let's... All right, let's go down the list. Do we want to see Kenseth win it then? You want to see Kenseth? Wow, okay. Kyle Busch. Why do people give Rowdy such a hard time?
I know it.
Okay. All right, let me have a... Well, let's not use that word. But I know what you mean. Now, but see, okay, this is just my opinion of it. I think deep down, while you may boo Kyle Busch, you like Kyle Busch because the greatness of sports is having somebody there you don't like. Isn't it like having the Yankees around? You need somebody there that stirs the pot a little bit.
I'll tell you what.
You are not happy with Kyle. Ow! I like Kyle Busch. I think he's good. I think Kyle's good for the sport. I think he's good for the sport. You gotta have some. You're right. You gotta have somebody there who stirs the pot a little bit. Who you say, that guy there.
I've got a guy in mind that stirred the pot out here one time, and he's here to join us now.
Okay.
We watched this guy duke it out with Jeff Burton one time on the backstretch. I think you might know who I'm talking about. Do I have any Jeff Burton fans out there?
Nice. All right, here he is, everybody. Put your hands together for Jeff Burton. It doesn't matter. Pick either one.
No, see, green's bad luck at racetrack. I don't know why.
Here. Let me fix this for you.
Thank you. Jeez.
But if it's such bad...
Okay, before we get...
There's a sponsor's exemption. If you have a sponsor's green, then it's okay. But other than that, green's bad luck. I don't know why, but it is.
Before we get going talking racing, I've got a little bone to pick with Jeff here.
You know, Carolina sucks, right?
So they prepped you. They prepped you right away. Now, see.
No, I don't. Listen, I didn't know. I can tell them. They have a sense of arrogance about them, the Carolina fans, and that's. As soon as I walked up, I said, "There's one of them right there."
You know, the thing about people who live in North Carolina, and I lived in North Carolina for years, and Jeff, obviously, and all the racers are based there. You have two things in the state. People ask you, who's your driver? And then they ask you, who's your team? And in North Carolina, that means college basketball. Who's your team? I am a North Carolina basketball fan, like Dale Earnhardt Jr. and everybody else who's smart. The people there love North Carolina. Then you have the elitists. You have the people who've come lately because Coach K's team was no good in the early 80s. No good in the early 80s. And you're an older gentleman, so when did you exactly jump on the bandwagon and go to the dark side, sir?
My family had season tickets at Cameron Indoor Stadium before Krzyzewski was hired. And I used to sit there and listen to all the people cuss about how terrible of a coach he was. So I was pre all that. And I learned recently why all the people like to go to Carolina, because they don't make them go to class. Right? So I don't blame. That's where I'd go too. Let's talk racing. What do you think? What you doing, bud? Y'all good? Nice to meet you.
There's a Hawkeye fan down there. How's your car? Let's talk some racing. How's your car?
Well, we qualified 20th, so that pretty much tells us tale right there.
Well, that wraps that up now.
Yeah, we came here and tested last week, and we were okay. We weren't as good as we needed to be, and we came back, and to be perfectly honest, we just haven't been as good as we needed to be. We did it at 13th in practice yesterday, and so we made some gains on it, but we're not. It looks to me to be 7 or 8 teams. The 20, the 48. Imagine that, both of them running good. The 20, the 48. Keselowski looks really fast. Y'all don't all start cheering at one time. The 88 looks fast. So there's several teams that just look like they're a step above. You know, there's 5 or 6 that look like they're a step above.
You know, we used to really brag at this track that we didn't have any repeat winners, and then one time along comes Jeff Burton and throws that statistic out the window. It was our first time repeat winner here at Texas Motorspeedway.
This track is what happens is, I don't know why, this track changes so much from one time to the next. It's just so different. That's why we had so many different winners. You come here and run well, and you come back with that same stuff, and you'd be terrible. And I don't know why, but this track just has a different personality every time you come. Like I said, we came here and tested last week, and developed a setup and came back, and it didn't work. And then other teams did the same thing. I talked to a lot of people that are here to test, and they had the same issues. So this track changes a great deal from one race to the next, and I don't know why.
Texas.
Texas? It's Texas's fault. Everything's bigger in Texas, right?
Especially hair.
My hair fell out.
Yeah, you ain't having a hair problem today, are you?
You know what? It's the easiest thing in the world when you just wake up.
That's why everybody teases me about my hair, and I'm like, man, I can sit down and say number 2. $6. Any more than that?
And you can't beat that. $6.
Hell yeah, man. I'm tight.
Especially when you have kids. And speaking of kids, you've got a 13-year-old and he's racing. What is it like to be at the track watching him run?
You know, it's fun. My daughter's a competitive, she drives horses competitively, travels all over the country, and she's doing that on a national level, and my son's traveling all over racing late models. So we got a lot going on in our house, but it's fun to see them compete. I think competition brings out the best in people. It makes you learn things really quickly. It's something to be said in life about getting knocked down, learn how to stand back up, and that's what competition does, you know. So it's fun to see both my kids competing and doing something that's hard. I don't like doing things that are easy. I want them doing things that are hard because you learn so much more in life. So it's fun. It's fun going and watching them do those things.
Are they Duke fans?
Of course they're Duke fans. They were raised the correct way.
You know what? I'm a Duke fan too, and he knows it. And I'm proud to stand next to another Duke fan. I just need to make that public right now.
2 elitists and then a man of the common people right here. Man of the common people. A state school, behind a state school there.
State's cool my ass. They don't go to class.
Those were just 2 or 3 kids. 2 or 3 kids.
Let me say, I wasn't
The whole
smart
football
enough.
team. What are you talking about?
I wasn't smart enough to go to Duke. I just like.
Hey, listen. People asked me if I went to Duke, and I said, man, they wouldn't let me go to Duke to sweep the floors. The Burton jeans don't have brains, I can promise you.
Your 2014 plans. Can you give us any indication of what you think you may do, may not do? I mean, this is the place to tell the fans here, your fans here.
We won't
What
tell.
will Jeff Burton do
It's
in
our
2014?
secret.
You know, I'll tell you everything I know.
Oh boy, he's playing us now.
So, I mean, honestly, I've had a lot of conversations with different people, and some things are starting to fall in place. But you know, when I made a decision to step back, I love racing. I really do. I love racing. But this is my 20th year, and you know, I just wanted to do something different. Look at something different, and so I'll definitely be around. But I can't honestly tell you exactly what that'll be. But I'll hope to know soon.
Will you miss it?
Yeah, I can write.
What will you miss most about the 31? What will you miss most about the 31 car?
The people. You know, this sport is. I've been in this garage for 20 years. I started racing when I was 7 years old. I started racing. I'm 46. When I was 7, I wanted to be a race car driver. I'm 46 and I'm a race car driver. I'm a blessed person. But honestly, it's the people. You know, I mean, you get to know so many people, and you get to spend time with those people. This Cup garage, Nationwide garages, they're full of quality people. I mean, we might fight on a Saturday night or a Sunday afternoon, but honestly, the next day we're back together trying to help. I mean, there's no more, as silly as this sounds, there's no more compassionate place than that garage over there. There's so many good people that all work together. Well, again, we disagree from time to time, but being part of that is fun, and it's real rewarding. So, I've always been in competition. I really like that. I think it's awesome to be able to, you know, it's not a right to get to walk across that stage and people cheer you or boo you. It's honestly, that's something very few people ever will get a chance to do, and it's an honor to do that. So those kind of things I'll miss. On the other hand, I've been gone from my family for forever, and it's time to spend a little more time with them, because I've been gone nonstop, and it's time to spend a little more time with them before my kids get old enough where they're gone.
I'm sure your wife's ready to.
No, she's pretty much wanting me to be gone a lot.
Stay.
But, I noticed we get along a lot better when I'm not around.
I'm a newlywed. I haven't figured that out yet.
Well, you'll get smart. It ain't long. You had a momentary lapse in your intelligence when you got married, but I'm just joking.
No, this was my second marriage. The first one was my practice one. This was
you're practicing. There you go.
Hey, Jeff, thank you so much for coming out.
Hey, listen.
Jeff Burton.
You guys have a great time today. You know, this is what is so cool about this sport, honestly, is you guys. I mean, you race fans are awesome. You guys have a great time today. I think you're going to see an exciting race. So have a great time. Appreciate it. Have fun. Thank you.
All right, let's keep it going here. Let's bring out a member of the 48 team. How about that? Let's talk about the 48 team. He's Earl Byron Jr. He's a spotter for Jimmie Johnson. Earl.
The Duke of Earl.
Give him a hand.
Yeah, thanks. I thought I was going to be before Jeff and be your warm-up, but man, that was great to have him up here first. I don't mind green.
You don't mind green?
It's the color of $100 bills. And Dale Earnhardt sponsor, so you know, I'm a Dale Earnhardt fan.
All right, the 48 car trying to do something here pretty special. First thing, how many championships have you been part of with Jimmie here? Were you off there all 5?
No, I was on his first one, and then I came over here. I was working for Rusty Wallace and Penske for 18 years. Came over here and for 1 year, and I thought, well, I just want to win a championship, the Daytona 500, and heck, they threw in Indianapolis, so I retired or I quit.
You quit?
Yeah, I was, you know.
Thought you got it all done, right?
Yeah, I got it all done. I thought that I was finished. So I do some commercial buildings, and I'm friends with Robert Yates, so I went to work over there for 2 years with him while he downsized and got rid of his stuff and sold out to his son and over to Roush. So then I thought I was going to quit again, and Jimmie and Chad asked me if I'd come back, so I've been with 3 of the 5 championships.
3 of the 5.
Nice. This guy is a jack of all trades. Is there a job that you haven't done, that you won't do? I read your bio, and it went on and on and on about all the many hats that you have worn, that you do wear. You can kind of cover every base there.
I wrote that myself. So, well, I started out real quickly a little bit about myself. I grew up in St. Louis. I'm split though, you know, because of our crowd here. I watched the game last night, and I'm really sorry about the Texas football game last night. It was a little disheartening, but I started out, I went 6 years in the Marine Corps, and I was a truck driver, and I learned how to drive trucks, things like that. Then I came back to St. Louis and started working for Penske, doing show cars, souvenir trailers, building those, the ones that you see out selling t-shirts. I started doing that for 3 years, and then I came down to Charlotte and worked for Rusty Wallace for 15 of those years. I was a pit crew coordinator, truck driver. I gassed the car for 5 years. I was a jackman for 5, and then I was standing behind the truck. I was his lead mechanic or his car chief at the time, and I was laughing at him because he fired his 3rd spotter for the year, and he said, "What are you laughing at?" I said, "Well, I can do that." And so he put me up there, so I was a spotter then for the last 5 years, and that's what I've been doing since.
You know, I have some dirt on you.
Dirt?
A little birdie told me it may or may not have been one of your scuba diving buddies. This guy's an avid scuba diver here. Was there? You can deny this if you need to. Was there ever a time in your truck driving career that a car may or may not have been strapped down that ended up in the front lounge of a hauler?
That is definitely that is not true. That is not true. That did happen, but I wasn't the truck driver. That was someone else. But what did happen, and they get this kind of confused, is I guess we were going to Watkins Glen, and I was heading up to the Glen, and I went underneath this bridge, and man, I got closer and closer, and well, I missed the highway, so I was going around Corning. And I kept getting closer and closer, and it was raining, and I thought, man, that doesn't look too high. And so when I got right up to it, I decided that it was better that I mashed the gas than to slow down, because I didn't want to get stuck underneath the bridge. And it actually peeled the roof of the trailer, looked like a sardine can. And if anybody's been racing since then, there was a Rusty Wallace commercial where he is going around Talladega and the stands all blow down and it says, "Rusty's back in town." Well, I was yelling, "Earl's back in town," and you know, going like heck. So that was definitely one of my biggest miscues. But I fixed the truck myself, so I thought that was all right.
Earl, explain to some of the fans out there what you do on race day, spotting for Jimmie, and how important that job is and how much they lean on you to get to victory lane.
Well, I would like to take all the credit for all that stuff, but I'm very fortunate that there's a rule that that you have to have a spotter, and I'm very fortunate that this team and whoever has asked me to do that. I enjoy that up there. Being on pit road for a long time, I only get to see 100 feet. Now I get to see every guy, every driver, every racetrack, and it's really, really exciting. So my main job is to make sure that he doesn't hit anything that he can't see. What happens right in front of him, I really can't control that. I can't push the button fast enough. But I just let him know what's, when he's going in turn 1, he can't see what's in turn 2 or down the back straightaway, and he needs to be aware of whatever's going on. And I make sure that he has all the information. If the crew chief, we used to have digital radio, so the crew chief would tell me things to tell him. So I would be just his information provider. In NASCAR, we have other people saying, hey, there's some metal on the track. I just try to inform him of everything that there is. And very fortunate to have this job. It's a lot of fun.
What's the feeling like amongst the 48 team today, tied with Matt Kenseth, going into the final 3 races, and Texas has been a place where you guys have had success?
Well, again, I have to say that every place that we go to and every team out there is coming here to win. And, I think it's really cool to shoot those pistols, and the 48 camp is here to win. We go every week to do that, and we think that we can do it. We've had some experience at that here, and that's just the job that we have to do. Is we have to beat 3rd and 4th by a little, and we just got to beat the guy that's tied with us every week for the next 3, and we think we can do that. So if you're a Jimmie Johnson fan,
I think we got a few of those out there. They're supposed to be telling me who they are because we've got some giveaways here later. So question for you, Talladega, you guys, that's always a wild race. It's before Texas, a couple of weeks before Texas. It's 2 miles. Is there one spotter that handles Talladega? Are there 2 of you? And no pressure on that, right? I mean, because there are times when you have to, he's their extra eyes and ears, so you have to guide them through some of these crazy wrecks that we see at the end, and there's got to be more than one of you on a track that big, I'm assuming.
No, there's only myself at Talladega and Daytona, because we tried to in the past, and you seem to walk on each other when you're supposed to give up the talking in turn 1 or turn 2. It's inevitable that I'm saying outside or inside, or 2 outside, 1 inside, or 2 wide, 15 deep, and then the other guy's trying to say the same thing and the driver hears nothing. So it's better that I just do it myself.
And how in the heck do you spot a road course then?
Well, now that's another question. We have 2 spotters at home at California. One stays down turn 11 and does pit road, and I do the rest of the track. And then at Watkins Glen, I spotting for like 26 seconds. And then I have a minute and 40 to hang out, eat Pop-Tarts, root for Dale Earnhardt. That Dale Earnhardt thing I've noticed is really cool.
Yes, that helps here.
Yeah.
That helps here.
So you get all kinds of weather. I mean, I'm assuming I'm looking over toward the flag, and that's about where you perch?
Yes, right up there above the Texas Motorspeedway sign, to the right of that, and that's the best view at every racetrack. That's where I'm at. So it's fabulous.
Were you in the Harlem Shake video that Jimmie did after Daytona? Were you there? Were you in it? What were you doing? If we go back and look on YouTube, are you in it?
You have to go really, really slow and blow it up really, really big, because I'm that fat old guy on the back of the golf cart that's going by.
Had you even heard of it when they said, let's do a Harlem Shake video?
I'm 50, so no. I didn't even know YouTube was for a while. I just got rid of that. I mean, look, that's like high tech. I have flip phone.
A can and a string?
A ladybug with antenna.
They come to you with that, and that's just the joy of winning, the biggest race there is. Is that just, tell me about and all of these fans out here, about the spirit amongst your crew, because these are guys you work with week in, week out. You have some moments where you're mad at each other, you have some moments when you're happy, but right there, to have the Harlem Shake video to celebrate winning, that has to be a lot of fun for you.
Yeah, our guys improvise a lot too. On pit road, they have to do 2 tires. They have a Daytona stop. They have like 6 plays that they have to, to do. So they improvise, they do their thing. So we were just going to take the truck out and just get a team photo in front of Daytona. Right. And then all of a sudden, this one guy says something, and next thing you know, somebody's looking for a cameraman, and then a motorcycle shows up and a golf cart, and it just got, then there was, there's obviously some Budweiser. Victory Lane has Budweiser.
How long did that party go in Daytona? How long did that party go?
That was pretty good. That's an hour and a half, 2 hours after the race. So, there's guys that are, we get to stay after the race to induct the car into the Daytona. So it's really a neat team event. So, there's some alcohol. There was some adult beverages. One of my friends, my best friend lives in Bermuda, and he sends this thing called Swizzle. Big fan of that. So it just was pretty nice. It was fun.
So you got Texas Motorspeedway, and then you change out cars, go to Phoenix, and then down to Homestead, and then the season wraps in theory. What happens in that downtime, that smidgen of downtime that you and the team get from this traveling circus that NASCAR really is?
I'm very fortunate. I've done this 26 years, and this year I stopped working full-time, and I just spot on Friday, Saturday, and Sundays, and I don't work in a shop any longer. I was shop foreman up until December of last year. And so what's going to happen for me is I'm going to ride my motorcycle to Las Vegas tomorrow, and I'm going to go to SEMA show over there. Going to go down to Phoenix on Thursday, ride go-karts with the guys, fly back, drive down to Homestead, try to scuba dive a little bit before and afterwards, and then I'm going to have 84 days off. Those other guys are going to have to, get their Christmas vacation, and the road guys can't take vacation through the season, so they have to take it in December and January. And they'll take their 1 or 2 weeks that's eligible, and they'll work 5-6 days a week. When it gets up to Daytona, they'll work 7 days a week. And everything gets done. The truck gets painted, new decals, every jack stand and jack, and everything that you see painted on pit road, those pit boxes get taken all apart. I mean, it is a lot easier to race all year long than to spend the off season in the winter at our shop. And everybody's.
Give us a little dirt. What is it like with Chad Knaus? Working with Chad Knaus. Give us some little dirt and detail. He's thinking because he knows he's got about 4 or 5 stories he can tell us. At this point in his career, he won't get in trouble. He's all right.
Chad Knaus is an amazing. He's very focused. Is a good word. He's focused, and obviously he's got 5 championships and the best driver that he puts a setup underneath. So so go Dale Earnhardt.
You have been around this sport long enough that you can now talk like a driver. I am very impressed by that.
And you have a group of season ticket holders here that know the sport inside and out and know you really just lied through your teeth. We really want the dirt, so now go.
Do you all have scanners or radios, Turn it to our channel if something happens. Check it out.
Having Lowe's as a sponsor, I always ask guys this. You're on the crew, so do you have do you get a black card? Can you go in Lowe's and just buy whatever you want? I mean, what's the benefit? I mean, you got to have some benefit of working for Lowe's, right?
You do. They give us a little black card, and it has the picture of the car on it, and your name, and Hendrick Motorsports or 48 Spotter or something like that. But on the 30th, you still get that bill, so it's not that good. We do have Lowe's is probably one of the best sponsors that I have ever seen in the garage, and I've been here a long time, and they really reward wins and championships and your hard work, and they give us a lot more than I've ever seen another sponsor do. So obviously they don't like us to talk about what they do, but it is very gracious, and they're just as good. I go into the store and they don't even know who I am, and I get great service there, and they have great service for our team, and can't ask for a better sponsor.
You are on the pit crew once, right? You did some over-the-wall stuff. Am I right on that?
Yeah, about 10 years, yeah.
So how much? When was that?
That was in 90 through 2000. I started spotting in 2000.
How much has that aspect changed? It seems like these guys that are on pit road that go over the wall are the most elite athletes now. They go through a combine type workout, right? And they're chosen that way, and they go through these really elite workouts. They're amazing athletes. Has that aspect of it changed quite a bit?
Yeah, fat old guys don't do it anymore. So yeah, a couple knee surgeries, and 50. It's time. These guys here, we got guys from we have scouts, or not scouts, but we go to colleges and we look for athletes that maybe don't make it in, maybe they can't make the first string running back or whatever. I really don't know a whole lot about football, so what car number is really all I know about. But they go in there and then we have tryouts. There's 10, 15, 20 guys that'll come through our group, and we bring them down and they go through an exercise program for weeks at a time, and then we pick out our 2 guys or 5 guys, whoever makes it. And everyone on our pit crew is a developmental guy. It used to be a guy in the garage that could change tires. He would be able to work out. Well, now it's this athlete that can run, those guys are just, man, they're amazing. Fitness is just the number one thing. I mean, they're just, I don't even know how to describe it. These guys they don't look like me. And they do such a great job, and they teach them how to change tires.
I'll say it. They look good with their shirts off, ladies.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. But they are taught how to change tires and jack into gas and to carry tires instead of you just. Is Dale Earnhardt here? Oh, Carl Edwards. Hey, he's from Missouri. That's where I'm from, so I like that.
Everybody, put your hands together for Earl Martin Jr. Thank you so much. Starting on the pole today in the 99 car, and he's a 3-time winner here at Texas Motorspeedway, and ladies think he's a pretty buff guy. Carl Edwards. Oh yes, we have a crowd today.
Awesome, good to be here, guys. Thanks for coming out to the races.
Speaking of a guy that's in shape, right here.
Trying to be. I've got to keep up with Jimmy and those guys. They're serious. Jimmy tweeted the other day he ran 20 miles. 20 miles, dude.
Well, you ran 21, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, we do have a fast race car for today. I love racing here, you guys. This place is so much fun. It's a great racetrack. I don't know if you guys can tell, but man, driving here, you drive down the corners, the cars slide around a lot. You can see the in-car cameras. You're working the wheel. It feels like you're really racing. So I love this place, and hopefully we can get another win.
I think we're convinced that you probably have Texas Motor Speedway figured out. We know that you visited Victory Lane multiple times. You get some really cool trophies here. Of all your trophies, where do the ones that you have won here, where do they sit at your house?
Okay, so in my safe, actually, because they're those pistols, man. It's unbelievable. Okay, let me tell you about winning here. You win the race, you get over there to Victory Lane, you get out of the car, you do your interview, and then Eddie Gossage hands you revolvers. And the first time I got to Victory Lane, I'm into gun safety. You don't fire a gun off in a crowd of people. He's like, shoot them off, Carl, go for it, shoot them. You sure, Eddie? You sure? He's like, they're blanks, Carl will be fine. So I'm over there just shooting, everybody's laughing. I'm thinking, this can't be legal. I mean, it's...
You're a minority in Texas if you don't conceal carry.
Exactly. So just, it's a lot of fun. And actually winning the pole the other day, we got a lever action rifle, which I've been wanting for a long time. So that was really neat. But you get the cowboy hats. It's a big show. We go up there to Speedway Club, talk to people. There's always something fun going on here at Texas.
One thing about Carl, he's won here three times, 3 out of 17 times. That's like Tiger Woods like winning at this track. We've never seen anyone do anything like that. It's Jeff Burton was here saying that the track is always a little bit different when he comes to Texas.
Yep.
Explain a little bit more about what he's talking about, and also give the folks out here the secret of your success of getting to Victory Lane on the Cup Series 3 times.
Well, I used to be faster. We did all that a long time ago, so I'm trying to build back up my ability here. But the thing about the racetrack is, some of you guys might race cars. You know the difference between, not just different tracks, but a lot of times when the sun goes down at a place, or a dirt track gets wet or dry or has bumps in it, it really changes the race. This place changes as much as any of them. As the sun goes down, it picks up a lot of speed. And then the other thing is the Goodyear tire changes the track as we run. So when they drop the green flag, the bottom will be really fast. We'll be running right on the line. And then as that wears out, we'll start running the very top. And it is something to drive in the corner at 205 miles an hour and slide that thing right up to the fence and not hit it. So it's really fun. And to do it for 500 miles is crazy. So I don't know, the secret to my success here has probably just been really good cars, though, because it really takes a great engine, great crew. Crew chief has to be smart all day, and you got to have some good luck.
Do you work out like every day, man? I mean, I don't. I don't.
It's Subway, man. You just gotta. Subway is the key.
But see, here's the thing. It's Subway
Carl,
without the cheese.
That's not the meatball stuff.
Right, yeah, it's not. So you gotta get the sweet onion chicken teriyaki on wheat. That's the deal. I mean, you can do it. Come on. I can get you a card. It'll make it cheap for you.
A card? Okay.
Hey, dude, it's one of those black cards.
Yeah, I want to buy one of those
Hey.
call numbers black cards.
Those are big, dude. They actually gave me one, and it's serious. It's neat.
So, am I correct? You're a pilot, right?
Yes, I'm a pilot.
And
Now-
do you fly
Yeah,
yourself to the
so-
races, or how does this work?
Yeah, so somehow in our great country, they allow a guy like me to fly myself all over the place, which is awesome. I grew up in Columbia, Missouri, and I was a kid. Awesome, all right. And I was a kid to watch the airplanes go over. I thought, man, I wonder where they're going. It must be awesome to fly in an airplane. And so now I get to fly all over and go to these races. And actually, the most embarrassing thing that's happened to me with flying has been right here in Texas. Any of you guys that are pilots, you know that you always land into the wind. I was taking a flight across Texas, stopped for fuel. It's some little airstrip where they had a bunch of crop dusters, and I did not check the windsock. There's no radio. So I landed, and I thought, boy, it doesn't seem right. It seems awfully fast. And I slid and skidded and did all that stuff. Finally got stopped at the end of the runway, and there's a guy sitting in his crop duster waiting to take off. And he looked at me, and I mean, I'm 150 feet away, and I can tell how he thinks I'm the stupidest pilot on the face of the earth. I thought, man, lucky there's no tower. There's nobody else around. It's just that one guy saw me.
Is that
Hell
the
with it. I'm
equivalent
not-
of driving up a one-way street?
It's worse in flying. It's really stupid. So about a year later, I came out and did a thing just like this at Texas at my merchandise hauler. I was signing autographs, and one guy, just quiet in the back, he goes, "Hey, downwind." I was like, "You were in that plane, weren't you?" He's like, "That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen." So anyway, I was caught. So yeah, I'm a pilot, but
I will never fly with you.
yeah.
Let me just say that publicly.
Well, that's it. You don't want a lot of passengers, so I tell stories like that. It keeps passenger count low.
I'll do a ride around here, but I will never fly with you.
You're one of many.
That's classic. All right, at what age do you think you'll say to yourself, I ain't going to do that backflip anymore?
And they're getting a little shaky. So, I used to run the Nationwide Series and win a lot more often, and now I realize if we win the race about halfway through turns 1 and 2, I'm like, oh, wait a second, I gotta do that backflip.
Exactly.
And I'm not joking. There's times I'm like, okay, I guess
Here we go. I think I can.
And I've noticed you people are onto it. Half of you are like, yay, Carl won. The other half are like, watch this idiot. They got their phone out.
Don't miss. Yeah, exactly. Don't miss.
It's going to be big. ESPN won't let anything die. That'll be like highlight of the year right there.
Hey, I got you in my NASCAR pool today. If you go win today, I'm going to be checking it out over here. Hey, everybody, give it up. Carl Edwards, he's on the What's your name, sir? Give it up, Dale Earnhardt Jr., everybody. Now, Jeff Burton came up here and talked about how he's a Dookie fan, and she's a Duke fan. In North Carolina, you got to do two things. I said before. One, you got to have a driver, and two, you got to have a team. And when we say team in North Carolina, we're talking a college basketball team. And your team is, sir?
Tar Heels.
See, we got smart. The two smart guys are the Tar Heel fans here.
That's okay. We still beat you sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes. So when did you become a Carolina fan here? Because a lot of people who live in Texas don't understand that college basketball love that we have.
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't understand how you can pull for Duke. But when you're from North Carolina, you pull for North Carolina.
The state school, the school of the people.
The school.
Of the people.
Yeah.
Again, I didn't say I was smart enough to go there.
I didn't go there either. All right, Dale Jr. Also, your football team is the Washington Redskins.
Yeah.
Tough crowd, Dale. Tough crowd.
Now look. Can I back? I'm gonna get us back on this.
And we're not in Washington D.C.
Because I lived in North Carolina for a lot of years. Now, when Dale and I were growing up, they didn't have the Carolina Panthers. They didn't have a professional football team at all. So everybody was just kind of a Washington fan. So through the years, it's just kind of something that's passed down. I was never a fan of the Skins. I was a Cowboy fan. It's hard these days. They make it rough on us.
Hard.
They
Hey,
make
you gotta
it
be a
rough on
Skins
us.
fan. That's hard.
But what is it like talking to Coach Gibbs and talking to other Redskin fans right now? Because you guys ain't no good.
Yeah, it's been tough. It's been a rough ride since '91. Really, it's been pretty tough. But we had a good year last year, so that was kind of fun watching them go to the playoffs. And then
that's because of a Texas boy.
We did beat up on the Cowboys last year, so that was kind of fun. And I got there's a lot of Cowboy fans up in North Carolina, so it's kind of there's a lot of Redskins fans, a lot of Cowboys fans. Obviously, there's some Panthers fans, but we don't count them because they're new. And yeah, the real football fans are the fans that were there before the Panthers were there. But I don't even like the Panthers that much, so I have a lot of my friends. They're Panthers fans, so we go at it all the time.
What about the name change? You know, there's rumors about changing the name.
Yeah.
Your thoughts? Should they keep the name Redskins?
I think they should keep the name. Yeah. I mean, there's probably a real good argument for either side, but until I hear, until somebody changes my mind, I'm a Redskins fan, so I'm going to be a little biased.
Holly?
What is a down day for you? What does Dale Earnhardt Jr. do on a day that he's not racing or testing? What's your downtime?
I normally want to be racing, so when I'm not at the racetrack, I want to be at the track. I got a lot of good friends back home that I don't get to see that much, so we spend a lot of time with them. Normally, as soon as we get home from the race, we get down in the basement and drink some beer and hang out. And, I try to do that every Sunday night after a race if we get home in a decent hour and we don't have nothing to do on Monday. But if we got to work Monday, we go to work. But my favorite flavor of beer lately, I drink the coldest one in the cooler, but that's my favorite beer. Lately, I've been drinking Miller High Life Lights in a bottle. Just an old school beer that I like to drink sometimes. But we drink Slits and Bud Light, Coors Light, Miller Light. We got all kinds of beer in the cooler. But we spend a lot of time. I like to go hunting. My brother Kerry is trying to put together a hunting show, and so he's putting together a scissor reel to try to sell to a network. And I've been getting to go on a lot of free hunts with him doing that. I got to go elk hunting last year for the first time, bow hunting, and that was a lot of fun. So I look forward to going and doing that again. Hopefully he gets this show off the ground, and that means a lot of hunting for me. So I'm trying to help him get this thing going.
Situation,
yeah, it's a win-win-win-win situation. So except for the deer, but I'm looking forward to that. He's going to enjoy that if he can get that going. And me and Kelly, my sister Kelly, she's starting to hunt a little bit. I got Carson. Some of you have heard about Carson racing. She's hunting a little bit. She killed a 6-pointer this weekend. So with her bow, she's bow hunting. So
I hear you like to cook. I hear that's your thing.
Yeah.
Now I
like to eat. So to eat, you must cook. So I like to be good. I like to eat good food. So I like to learn how to cook.
So is there a particular Food Network show you watch at all where you're like, if I could do it, I'd do it like that?
I don't know what network it's on, but Barbecue Pit Masters is one of my favorites. I was actually lucky enough to be on that show. I was watching the show before I was on it, but so when they asked me to get on there, I was more than happy to do it. We shot that at Martinsville this year, and that was a lot of fun. I learned a lot. I've been learning how to smoke meat and barbecue. I went to Hard 8 up here in Roanoke. It's not far from the track. A couple of times this year, talked to the guys up there and just trying to learn some tips. And when we get that's what we do with an off weekend. When we get an off weekend or we race Saturday night and have a Sunday, we get the grill out and slow smoke a brisket or something like that all day long and have a lot of fun.
So you're a big eater?
Well,
it don't look like it.
But I like to.
It does on me, not on you.
I like to eat good food, but it's fun when you get the whole family and all your friends around and you feed them and they tell you it's good. Because I ain't been smoking barbecue but a year, and they seem to like the brisket we've been cooking. So,
all right, we got some questions from you fans out there, and all right, I'm going to call out your name, and when I call out your name, I want you to go there, right here by this big old gray thing.
Piston.
Yeah, that's a piston.
Yeah, that thing. Because
I got that
Dale has signed some few items. So if you've got your question answered, you're going to get an autographed piece of merchandise from Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Cool. Yeah.
Anna Gonzalez, you here, Anna? Anna Gonzalez.
Over here.
All right, Anna. Here is the question from Anna. What is the inspiration for the gold car?
Oh, well, it's the gold amp is the inspiration for the gold car. They got a new flavor, the Apple amp, and I guess it's in a gold can, so they wanted a car to kind of reflect the marketing campaign behind all that, and so we went with an all-gold car. I kind of like it. And speaking of gold, next year we're going to have gold numbers on the National Guard car. I don't know if a lot of people seen the idea that's been floating around the internet a little bit, but that's going to be unveiled here soon. I'm looking forward to that. I'm trying to talk NASCAR into doing a gold leaf number, so we'll see how that works out. They got the rules about the reflection of the number. It can't be too reflective, so that's why you don't see like the old mirrored silver numbers and the mirrored gold numbers like the Wood Brothers used to race and stuff. They don't see that anymore. That's because they got rules on that stuff. So we're going to get as close to that rule as we can. We're going to bend that rule a little bit.
Push that gray area there.
All right, Scott Murray. Is Scott here? Scott.
Over here.
Hey,
to our
Scott.
left.
Head on over here to the piston. And Scott's question is, what was your first hot rod?
Good question.
Hot rod, man. I didn't have a hot rod for a long time. I was driving a S10 88 short bed pickup truck. That was my first hot rod. It's a funny story about that. I went looking for my first truck like a couple months ago because I got this wild hair to find it and restore it, and it's an 88, and I drove it for 2 years, and went looking for it. And how I found this truck was going on the Carfax website. That really works. You know, you see the commercials and all that, and I found where this truck had been serviced and how many people who owned it when it was serviced at what station and all that stuff. And so I found the last owner's name, went and saw a buddy of mine at the DMV, told me where he lived, and I ain't supposed to do that, but so we went to the guy's house, and he sold the truck to a junkyard, so they actually crushed this truck of mine. Yeah, so I didn't get it. But I bought an 88 S10 from a guy in Tennessee about 2 weeks ago, and I'm going to restore that one. Anyways, so that was my first hot rod, so I'm looking forward to getting that thing right.
But what hot rods do you have now? If I were to go look in your garage.
If you look at my garage now, the last two cars I bought was a 77 Oldsmobile Cutlass 442.
Has an air filter about the
it's a
side
huge
of the stage on
car,
it.
yeah. And a 76 Chevy Laguna. And both of those cars, the reason why those cars are important to me and why I bought them, number one, I'm cheap. So those are cheap hot rods to own if you're into hot rods. And they got a real connection to the sport. When you went to Daytona in 79 and 80, you had to have an Oldsmobile Cutlass to be fast. The top 8 cars in the qualifying order, the top 8 cars in the top 10 in the 1980 Daytona 500 were Oldsmobile Cutlasses. So everybody had one. That was when, you know, you'd show up with Oldsmobile one week, the next week you'd drive a Chevrolet. So the Laguna is just a really cool looking car. They race those obviously in NASCAR in 76, 77. So I like those cars.
This is a question for me because I always wonder about what everyday life is for a guy like you. Can you just go to the grocery store like this, or do you have to, so you don't get recognized? Just you can go in, buy, you know, a pack of whatever and get out of here?
Yeah, you just go. Especially back home, people don't care. Oh, there he is. There's Dale. That's how they are. They see y'all. They see you out at me and my girlfriend went and saw Gravity, that movie with Sandra Bullock and George Clooney. Pretty good movie. And yeah, they were like, oh, there he is, watching the movie. But you know, when you go to the race markets, and if I want to go eat dinner on a Friday or Saturday, you know, people are obviously going to go, what? There's Dale Jr. and he's in Texas, so that's different.
They do the triple take.
They don't expect to see you. You know, outside of where you live, so then it gets pretty interesting. But it's always fun.
All right, is Dave Hansen here? Dave. All right, Dave. Head on over. Dave's question is, how did Gas Monkey treat you on the Nomad?
Oh, yeah. They were good, man. Yeah. Those guys are good guys, man. They did a good job on that car. We actually just announced the winner for that car, and I don't know the guy's name, but he's from New Jersey. Yeah, so apparently somebody in New Jersey's got this Nomad now. It's been sitting in the JR Motorsports shop for the last couple months, waiting on somebody to win it. But that was a lot of fun. It was great to meet those guys. I'd seen the show before, so I knew what I was getting myself into. And the car turned out amazing. They do a lot of good work, and surprised how that green worked. I didn't know if it would, but I've always wanted a Nomad. I didn't get that one. Maybe I'll find me one day.
This comes from AJ, Janine, and Matt from Arlington, Texas. Their question. Oh, you're going to love this one. What are the chances of your fans getting to meet the future Mrs. Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the future?
Wow. Yeah. Well, I guess when I get married, then you'll know who it is. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I got a relationship right now that's going pretty good, but yeah, it's just we're just dating and been enjoying that, and don't really have any plans to get married yet, but. It's certainly the longest relationship I've been in, so who knows?
How long has this been so far? How long?
About 4 years.
4 years?
Yeah.
So you've been getting rid of them at a quicker pace than that?
Yeah, I think once it got past 3 months, I thought it was pretty serious. So I figured she must be a good one.
This comes from Tyson Burtman in Amarillo. Tyson, you here? Tyson. Oh,
Out
Tyson.
here, to the left.
Okay, well, come on over here and get your autographed Dale Earnhardt Jr. merchandise. And he says, has racing for Hendrick Motorsports been everything you thought it would be?
Well, I thought we'd win some more races, but other than that, it's been everything I thought it would be. And especially these last couple of years, we're getting a lot more competitive, a lot more consistent, have a lot more fun. It's probably the funnest I've had driving race cars in the last couple of years. And but it's we've had some rough times. Ain't no secret, but I've enjoyed it. Rick's a great owner. He takes care of his employees. You never have to worry about anything. If you ever need anything, family member gets ill or anything like that, he's willing to go the extra mile to help anybody out and get people to the right doctors or whatever. He's just a good guy. And so you like working for people like that. You like trying your best. And I got a great crew chief. Steve Letard's rallied a great team around us, and I think we're doing some of our best work here in the last couple weeks.
We have more questions. I got 2 more questions here. Brenda Sparks from Marshall, Texas. Brenda, you here?
Over here.
There you go. Yep. Go see Wayne. And I think you signed T-shirts and hats, right?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know what we signed over.
All right. Wayne, whatever's left, I want it. So I go
I'm always signing something. So.
All right. The question from Brenda is, what was your favorite food item that you had at the Hard 8 barbecue in Roanoke up here?
I mean, the brisket was great. It was hard to beat that. The sausage was the spicy sausage that this guy.
The jalapeno sausage.
Yeah, that was probably my favorite because I've never eaten any of that before. So that's probably my favorite. I'd say that's my favorite.
But there's a big difference, right, between Texas barbecue and Carolina barbecue,
oh, absolutely,
right?
Yeah.
And do you have a preference?
Yeah, I like Texas barbecue a whole lot better than I like Carolina barbecue. I never really liked Carolina barbecues that much, so because we do a lot of pulled pork and stuff like that. We don't do ribs and brisket and stuff like that much. So when I went out, started going out west, going to barbecue joints, and then watching the television show, started understanding, man, this is a lot more to it than we know about North Carolina. So
pulled pork though is good, man.
It is good,
pulled
but
pork
you
in North
gotta be in the
Carolina is
mood
good
for that. And when somebody sits ribs in front of you, you don't got to be in the mood for that. You eat that anytime.
So do you like the pork ribs or beef ribs? Which are your favorite, pork or beef ribs?
Beef. I like beef. Beef ribs.
This question comes from Stephen White. Stephen, you here? Hello, Stephen. Yeah, you want me, Stephen? All right, Stephen
right here,
White.
in the middle? No.
There we go.
Oh.
No. Oh, okay. Well, Stephen White from Richmond, Texas, wants to ask, what is a regular day like for you without racing?
Man, it's something different all the time. But we pedaling on our cars or working on a new project on the farm. We're all the time dreaming up ideas and stuff to do, building western towns and putting old wrecked race cars in the woods and stuff like that.
Elaborate on this western town concept here.
Yeah, that was we built a western town, and it is what it sounds like. It's a whole town, and built it way down in the bottom of my property next to this creek, and it's in a floodplain. I didn't get a permit to build it.
Who needs those?
And it don't. Yeah, it's on cinder blocks that could float away if it flooded down there. But it's a big old town with a it's a long street, and it's got a hotel and a jail cell and a sheriff's office and a bank. And I'm sure a lot of people have seen it. We've been using it. Kind of saloon, yeah. We've been letting people use it to shoot commercials and music videos and all kinds of stuff. Anytime they shoot the All-Star commercials for the All-Star race, they've been using that here in the last couple of years, using the Western Town as a backdrop. But I just wanted somewhere to party and not have to worry about fixing it, tearing it up, messing up my house. And so it's come in real handy. We've had some pretty epic throwdowns over at that place, especially when we first got it. You wear it out when you first get something new. But we had a lot of fun there. We had a lot of drivers come out and hang out with us, a lot of good stories. And if Casey Kane ever comes back up on the stage, you can ask about the night he dumped beer on that girl's head. So see if he'll tell you that story. It's a good one.
Okay, how did the girl react to Casey Kane pouring beer on her head?
Somebody ended up in jail that night.
This sounds like a Clint Boyer party, man.
Yeah, Clint wasn't even around back then. I'm glad he wasn't. It could have even got worse. Yeah, if he was there, it'd have been big trouble.
Been more than a couple of cops out there, I'll tell you that. All right, no matter what happens, wherever you go, this will always be where you got your first win. What is it like when you drive in that tunnel and you know, victory lane when you see it? That was my first one.
Yeah, it was, we won our first nationwide race here, and then we came back in a couple years later and won the first Cup race, and you just, you never forget that day, you never forget that feeling that you had, and you want to go back to victory lane every time you come here. I think when we won, we gained a lot of fans through those performances and through those victories, and so every time we come here, I know we got a great supporting cast and our fan base motivating us and pushing us along. So you want to come in and perform. You want to come in here and get the job done. So that's what we're hoping to do today. We think we got a good car. We worked real hard. We worked real hard yesterday and Friday trying to put a fast car together, and this is a fun racetrack. It's one of my favorites, so track where you can move around and run different grooves in the corners. If we get that high line working like we want to today, it'll be shame on the rest of them.
Well, Dale, this is Junior Nation out in front of you. You'll hear this 100 times louder every time you go by today. So give this guy a big send-off right now. Wish him luck.
Thank you. Enjoy the race. I appreciate y'all supporting the racetrack, supporting the sport. Thank you very much.